Hi guys, Stu, Al, Austin, Jenko and Ronan the dog here for Outdoor Basics, and today I'm going to talk to you about my Wessex Blades take on a British Army Golok. So this is it here. Absolutely outstanding. So I'll give you a quick backstory on it before I start. So I met Scott for Wessex Blades at the prepper meet 2 years ago, I think it was. Went down to the prepper meet, met Scott, we had a look at his stuff. If you track back through our videos, you'll see he done a kind of show and tell on a load of his stuff that he has, and it was unbelievable. I was so taken by it, I thought, do you know what, I need to order one of these. And the thing that kind of tamed me was the Golok, really. And I'm going to talk about that a wee bit more in a second. But there's a backstory as to why I got the Golok. Obviously I spent a fair few years in the Royal Marines, and when I was a young Marine, I was lucky enough to get onto a kind of partial jungle trip. So I got out on a jungle trip. And from stores I get issued a Pusser's Golok, and which is like a British Army Golok, and it was absolutely crap. And being just a young Marine, I didn't realise all the senior bods had went and got their own machetes and stuff like that, and I just tipped up with what was available, and it was not great. I managed to get something in country that was slightly better. However, I brought my Golok back, and I still have that Golok to this day. I was going to bring it out, but I kind of didn't want to insult it with this. So when I seen what I thought the Golok should have been, I had to have one. So that's why I wanted a Golok. Loads of people were like, why did you get that? I'm kind of paying it forward to 19-year-old me, hanging out kind of with a Pusser's Golok that was absolutely rubbish. I'm paying it forward now. So yeah, what I'm gonna read off my phone certain bits of information that are relevant to this, because Scott put so much work into this, and there's so many small details that you need to remember. I won't remember all them due to dyslexic bootneck. I'm just not going to remember all them, so I'm going to quickly read a few bits and bobs off now. This isn't so much as a test because it is awesome. This is just you're going to get to see me mess about with it for the first time. So I'll read a few bits out because I know there'll be loads of people interested in all the technical specifications, and I do not want to kind of get it wrong. So I messaged Scott and asked a few simple questions, and these are the answers that he came back with. So the first thing that I know people are going to ask me is the steel. The steel is CS75, so that is a 0.75 carbon spring steel. He states himself, very simple but tough. He gets it heat treated in a fluidised sand furnace, I think I've said that right, so it gets a good soak, and then it gets a partial bannatyne cycle in molten salt. This imparts about 10% extra toughness with no loss of hardness. HRC is around 57 because it's a chopping tool. He then back tempers the blade so the spring goes into the handle, and that reduces the shock. So that's kind of technical information on the steel and the heat treat. I didn't really know that much about heat treats and stuff like that. I've seen it done before. However, Scott's information and knowledge was so detailed on it, I completely trusted him on it. But anybody else that knows loads about it that was interested, there you go. Where else? The grind, another big thing that people ask about, it is a 17-degree cutting edge with a 5-degree main bevel, so a strong edge. It's also micro beveled and fairly lean following the bevel, as it is a chopping blade. So that's kind of on that. That's the steel and the heat treat, yeah. Canvas micarta scales, black G10 liners, and it's got brass, I believe, brass tubes with a kind of beautiful mosaic pin on it. You'll see here lasered on, it's got the Outdoor Basics logo, which is awesome. And then on the other side it's got the Wessex Blades logo. So I'm just going to set this here and talk about the sheath, because the sheath itself is an absolute work of art. I'll do loads of close-ups. I'm going to get this right on the sheath as well. Dudes, I know this might seem a bit mad that I'm reading things off my phone. I see people doing this with knives that they've bought off the shelf. This man took a long time, Scott took a long time to make all this custom for me, and I want to do it justice. The sheath is veg tanned 3 to 3.5mm leather with a double 20mm welt, gives rigidity and safety. All stitching is lock stitched. He said this in his last video when we talked about, we kind of got a chat with him down at the prepper meet. All stitching is lock stitched, not saddle stitched or running stitched. It's hand dyed. He seals the inside with Resolin, so it's a 3-in-1 oil. Where are we for here? He feeds and treats the leather from the outside. The amount of work that's went into the sheath is just absolutely astronomical, really, to be honest. So the main thing that I wanted to get was that it was lock stitched. It's just unbelievable. I'll show you all this up close. The detail on the Outdoor Basics logo is tremendous. And then the Spartan helmet, which is mint. I never asked for a fire steel, but Scott just lashed me up with one, which I thought was absolutely amazing. Which again is canvas micarta with black liners, but if you look in the middle, it's a leather thong in the middle. Absolutely awesome. With the commando green kind of balls on the end, and then the stitching, commando green stitching for obvious reasons, all the way around. So yeah, I'm blown away by it, to be honest. The quality of it. It is incredibly light in the hand, just very, very flicky, very light in the hand. What's also really cool about it, I could choke back as well with this kind of bill hook at the end, and then it's just that flick motion. Yeah, so I'm not like having to swing it like a madman and wreck my hand and tire my arm out. Also here, this section is rounded in the inside, so I can choke up for any finer work that I have to do. And I'm going to show you me doing some of that as well. The spine is very, very sharp, very, very sharp. And the reason the spine is sharp is so that if I'm having to scrape any bark off or do anything like that, I'm protecting the main cutting edge. Plus I can use it for throwing sparks. It's got that kind of thumb ramp there as well. Just unbelievable ability to control the blade itself. Unreal. Very impressed with that. Scott said something, and let me get this right. What did he say about a Golok? A Golok is like a machete that's survival blade thick. Yeah, a Golok is like a machete that's survival blade thick. So it'll chop like a machete, and it's going to perform a lot of the tasks of a survival knife. For me, this is a kind of, I wanted it almost as a one-tool option. I'm not a massive fan of the one-tool option thing. I kind of like the Scandinavian version of a small belt knife, an axe and a saw. I love that. But like I said, I wanted to pay homage to 19-year-old me hanging out with a Pusser's Golok and get what he thought he was getting then. So yeah, I'm not going to try and test it to destruction or anything mental like that today. I'm going to knock the crap out of it, to be fair. But you're just going to get to see me using it for the very first time and sort of finding my way with it. So come along. There's all the technical specs, there's why I've got it. Enough waffle for me. Let's get to what you actually want to see, which is me chopping things down. See you in a minute. It's the sharpest knife I've ever seen in my life. It's nuts. This is a receipt for earlier on the day for buying Scran. You know how thin receipts are, and it's been crushed up in my pocket. And it just slices straight through it. It's nuts. My wife will kill me for this. I don't know if you can see it, Al. Just see that. Crazy baldy section there, so yeah, it's wildly sharp, wildly sharp, all over. So yeah, let's do some chopping. Stay tuned. Right, back to the chopping first time. Could use these, You chop these ones down, what do you reckon? Wow. See how deep that buried in there? Over on this side. That's crazy, absolutely crazy. And I've been really quite controlled. If I'm honest, I'm actually being super cautious. I'm not overdoing it with the swing, just to get my confidence up with using it, as it's a new tool. We'll just give it back, pull it round that way, mate, to sit it in the rear bit. That'll do actually, then, mate. Sorry. Aye, that'll do. Drop it off, mate, it's okay. I mean, wow, look at that, straight through that, one clean cut. Definitely a very, very, very capable bit of kit. Very impressed, very, very impressed. But I'm not finished with it yet. So yeah, like I say, this will all be used in the construction of your camp. This is all going to get used in the construction of your camp. And all at those top ends, they're going to get kind of dragged down to provide some sort of camouflage wall. But yeah, stay tuned, I'm going to keep chopping things. Alright guys, so I've used it to kind of down a few of these type of limbs here, and the reason we're doing that is because I wanted to just get the feel of it before to kind of like dial it in a wee bit. The reason we're taking all these down is we're actually in a permission now. We kind of managed to get ourselves a permission, so we're going to build a permanent camp here, a brand new permanent camp here, which is awesome. So there's loads of these kind of smaller limbs everywhere. It's a very, very dense forest. We're going to take a load of these down to help us build our camp, and just kind of generally look after the area. So I've had a few practice shots with it. It hasn't dulled at all. I'm not trying to go through in one swing because I don't want to lose control of my swing at any point. I want to keep the blade in front of me at all times. I'm also using it in a kind of whipping motion, so I'm not arming it, so that if I had to do this on repeat, I wouldn't become exhausted and burn my arm out, yeah. So I'm not trying to like go through it in one mad swing. I need to maintain control of the blade, because obviously the lads will be working in and around the area. So that's the last thing you want to be doing. For your ego to be trying to get through in one swing and you end up winging it at someone. I'll put this in a wee bit and you'll see it'll bite. It'll probably go about 50% of the way through. And I'm using that flicking motion. I'm not trying to batter it like a kind of axe almost. I'm using that wrist action, that flick. Okay, so watch, here we go. It bit the entirety of the blade in. It bit the entirety of the blade in. Also, as I'm doing this, I'm making sure there's nothing around me that the blade is going to get caught up on as I'm swinging it, catch it and bang it into my own head, yeah? So you need to be aware of the surroundings, keeping the blade in front of you, being aware of it. So yeah, through that easy, just with that clean cut there, and then what I'll do is I'll move this back through here, So yeah, massively impressed with it so far. As far as acting as a machete, Golok type thing, it does exactly what it's meant to do. It's fantastic, as you can see there. Like I said, I'm not trying to go through it in that one mad cut. I made that notch there, and then I can just sit the limb in it and just delimb it as I need to. It just makes my life much easier, yeah, and it's safer as well for everybody. So again, being completely aware of everything round about me, that the blade itself, because it is that longer blade, isn't going to get caught up in it and then come back on me. It's all very good and well having, you know, the big fancy knife, but you should be aware of how to use it. And if you haven't been taught, I was taught in the military, if you haven't been taught, get in touch with various bushcraft kind of instructional providers, such as a great one is Mad Dog Adventures. They lads do trips out to the trees all the time. They'll teach you how to use a machete better than most. Give those guys a look. Also, things that you should always have Israeli bandages, or FFDs if you want to call them, tourniquets, that sort of stuff, which I always carry on me, especially if you're using things like this. Accidents can and will happen. Yeah, so enough of the seriousness, and now back to me chopping back through massive logs and that. See you in a minute. Obviously normally I'd just duck under them, but seeing as this is the deepest, darkest Glaswegian jungle, I suppose I should move through these with my new fancy Golok. Yeah, does the trick, yeah. Let's continue. So although dead, it's a bit harder. Because I'm chopping it kind of head height, I need to be a wee bit more careful, but let's have a look at it and see how it comes down. Zero effort in that. I'm just letting it do the work. And the thing that's awesome about it is, yeah, like see when I'm hitting it, like Scott says, he kind of does that retemper, so there's no, see when I'm hitting this harder wood, I'm not feeling it like vibrate up into my hand. It's not like dong. The impact control within it is absolutely outstanding. It's dead easy to control, and with the amount of whacking I've gave it, zero damage to the edge. Really love it. Like I say, this isn't as much a review as it is just me. Stand up there. This isn't as much a review as it is me just messing around with my new toy, because that's what it is. For me, yeah, it's a one-tool survival option. Yeah, I do a lot. I do prepping. Yeah, I do go out and do loads and loads of bushcraft and stuff like that. But I do it because I enjoy it. I do it massively because I enjoy it. So I'll go back now, try a wee bit of ferro sticking and battening with it, and let you have a look. Not really what it's for, but I'm going to do some battening with it as well. On quite a sizable bit of wood there. Nada. A few knots in it and that as well. Batting through that, no bother. Load of battening, let's see. Terrible. I've just shaved a huge baldy section out my shin. Yeah, I'd say the edge retention's pretty decent, eh? Big knot there. Smell the pine off it. Nothing. Absolutely adore it. So like I say, I never brought it out to review it because I knew it was going to be awesome. I brought it out to kind of mess around with and just bring you along. This rounded edge here is really nice. Do you know what I'm going to test the edge with a ferro rod. Test the spine, yeah, here we go. Whoa.
Do that again.
That was crazy. Here we go.
That's mad.
That's a spine, eh? Let's check. Straight off, my god. It's a sharp spine, that, like, wow. Ronan just gone mental in the background there. So yeah, still hair shaving sharp, throws sparks for days, edge retention's awesome, it slices like you wouldn't believe, it can batten, absolutely love it. So this was my kind of initial thoughts review, initial mess around with a Golok. I'm actually going to do a few more videos with it, of us building camp. Today was just a kind of general get out and have a look at it. So yeah, stay tuned for a load of videos of us building camp with it, chopping things down with it. Something I didn't mention at the start was I got it on this dangler, which is absolutely awesome, and even on the back, let's get the W, the Wessex Blades. Attention to detail's crazy, absolutely love it, very very impressed. So yeah, not so much a knife review, just me messing around with it, having a good time. So yeah, as always I've been Stu, he's been Alan, yous have been awesome. This is the Wessex Blades Golok. Go and have a look at Wessex Blades on Instagram, Facebook, all that sort of good sounding stuff. Support British made, get in touch with them. If you're not British, support the small makers, support the small guy. It's dead easy to jump and get big company knives because they're a bit cheaper and they come really quick. Support the small guy, and it's just a good thing, especially in these tough challenging times, yeah. So see you in the next one. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good sounding stuff.